Hello and welcome to the beautiful Lac Moderne in Parc National de la Mauricie. Today we are going to be practicing a gentle Hatha yoga stretching class. This is a beautiful practice that you can incorporate into your daily routine or just mix and match what feels good for you in the moment. When you're ready, come into a comfortable seated position. You might like to place one palm on the belly, the other on the heart space, maybe closing the eyes, and gifting yourself this space to really feel the connection between the breath, the body, and whatever it is that you are experiencing here in this very moment. On your next inhale, raise the arms skywards, join the palms together. Exhale, lower the palms to heart center. And again, inhale. Exhale, once more, warming up the shoulder girdles, stretching the torso, elongating the spine. Beautiful work. From here, we'll take a seated twist, rotating the torso to the right, tenting up onto the right fingertips behind you, maybe gazing behind that right shoulder, and placing the outer edge of your left hand against the right thigh, ensuring that you have an even distribution of weight across both sits bones, across both legs. With every inhalation, feel the crown of the head reaching towards the sky. And with every exhalation, seeing if you can twist a little more. Returning to center, beautiful work. From here, we'll swap the cross of the legs so that the opposite shin and foot are in front. Roll the shoulders back. And when you're ready, taking a spinal twist on the other side. Finding your variation. Noticing how the body feels in this position. Perhaps there are some regions where you are feeling sensation, whether it be tension or a nice stretch, perhaps nothing at all. Simply observing. Returning to center. And from here, we'll lower down onto our right forearm, bending over to the right, raising the left arm overhead, feeling a beautiful side body stretch. Noticing if that left hip begins to creep up off the mat, and if so, simply reaffirming and reestablishing your connection to the earth. Inhale, center. Roll the shoulders back, and we'll take this stretch on the other side. Left forearm to the earth, stretching the right fingertips overhead, keeping the heart space expansive, and lightly contracting the lower abdomen here so that we are protecting the lower back. Breathe. Inhale, center. And this time going over to the right, scooping the chest and the arms forward and around in a half circle and finding the stretch on the other side. A few more times like this. You might like to come into a bit of a back bend heart opener, allowing the breath to guide you here. Making these movements as small or as large as you would like. And mindfully working your way upright. Beautiful work. From here, we'll turn to face the short edge of the mat, extending both legs out in front. Dandasana, staff pose. And you might like to internally and externally rotate the hips a few times. Returning the legs together, and we'll point and flex the feet a few times. Stretching the tops of the ankles, the arches of the feet. maybe circling the feet in one direction, and reversing the direction. From here, bending the knees, scooting forward slightly, placing your palms underneath your thighs, engaging the core muscles, and we'll begin to roll down one vertebra at a time, coming to lie on our backs. Joining the soles of the feet together, grounding down through the blade edges of the feet, keeping the knees bent, allowing the knees to splay wide as we set up for supine bound angle or butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. Again, it might be helpful to place one palm on the belly and the other on the heart space, or perhaps both palms on the belly, just really facilitating that connection with the breath. Allowing the hips to relax, softening the glutes, feeling a beautiful opening around the inner thighs, the inner groin. Allowing the shoulders to melt into the earth, relaxing the chest, softening the throat, unclenching the jaw, finding stillness. On your next inhale, mindfully closing the legs, joining the knees together, guiding the knees to the chest, and perhaps creating some organic movement, circling the knees and the hips in one direction and the other. Interlacing your fingers around the right shin, extending the left leg, grounding down through the left heel, keeping the left knees and the left toes facing skywards. Guiding the right knee towards the right armpit, and you might like to circle out that right foot and the right ankle a few times. Noticing the sensations around the hips. Either staying here or we'll come into a half happy baby, Ardha Ananda Balasana, using your peace fingers and your thumb to grab a hold of the right big toe, guiding the right knee towards the armpit and closer to the earth. Or alternatively, you could grab a hold of the blade edge of that right foot or your ankle. It might be helpful to place your left palm on your left hip bone to help keep that hip grounded. We'll come into a supine spinal twist, this time using the left palm to guide the right knee over to the left, gazing to the right. Doing your best to keep both shoulders connected to the earth. Feeling a beautiful release around the right outer glute, the outer hips, perhaps the lower to mid back as well. Recognizing that we all experience these postures in our own way, so honoring what comes up for you, knowing that there is no right or wrong, simply being present. Mindfully unraveling, guiding both knees to the chest, taking as much space and time as you would like. If you'd like to find some movement in between, rocking the hips from side to side, know that that is okay. And from here, we'll take a wind-relieving posture, Pawamuktasana, on the other side, guiding the left knee towards the left armpit, and either finding stillness or movement with the left foot. Engaging the right quadricep of the leg that's extended to help you get the back of that leg, the back of that thigh close to the earth, helping you intensify the stretch. Either staying here or mindfully grabbing a hold of your big toe or your outer foot, and we'll come into half happy baby on the other side. Breathing into any regions of the body where you're feeling sensation. One more breath in half happy baby, and guiding the left knee over to the right as we come into a supine spinal twist. Allowing yourself to soften, becoming supple as you ease into the gentleness of this posture. Gently release. Great work, knees to chest. Interlacing your fingers around the shins, finding any movement here. And either staying here or we'll come into a full expression of happy baby and under balasana. This time guiding both knees towards the earth, feeling a beautiful release around the inner thighs, perhaps the backs of the hamstrings. And if you have the mobility, you might like to extend one leg at a time. See what that feels like. Doing your best to keep the glutes and the lower back connected to the earth. You might like to extend both legs at the same time. For this variation, it might be helpful to place your palms around the inner calves, the thighs. See what works for you. Mindfully returning the knees to the chest. One breath here. And when you're ready, placing the feet down on the earth, heels underneath the knees, and we'll come up into a bridge. Raising the pelvis, the lower back, the mid-back, squeezing the glutes and the inner thighs at the top. And mindfully lowering down one vertebra at a time. And again, inhale, raise the hips. Exhale, gently lower. A few more times. Noticing what's happening around the knees. Are they splaying out to the side or knocking together? And if so, doing your best to keep them aligned with the hips. On this next round, we'll keep the pelvis elevated, interlacing your fingers together behind the back, drawing the shoulder blades together as you open across the heart space. If possible, seeing if you can create a diagonal line between the knees, the hips, and the shoulders. Softening the facial features. One more breath. Releasing the bind and gently rolling down. Well done. From here, cactusing the arms out wide, elbows at shoulder height, palms facing skywards, separating your feet to about the width of the mat, and we'll begin to fan our legs out, lowering the knees to one side, returning to center and lowering them to the other side. You might like to guide your face in the opposite direction, so if the knees are going to the right, looking to the left, and vice versa. Again, doing your best to keep the shoulders grounded. Returning the knees to face skywards, grounding down through the left foot, we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh, coming into supine pigeon, Supta Kapottasana. You might like to interlace your fingers around the left shin or the underside of the left thigh, and guiding the left knee towards the chest as you push the right knee away from the body, keeping the right foot flexed to protect the knee. Feeling a beautiful sensation around the outer hips, perhaps the underside of the glutes, just noticing. From here we'll come into cow face pose, Supta Gomukhasana, guiding the right knee in front of the left, guiding the knees towards the chest as you separate the feet from the midline, holding on to the outer edges, the blade edges of the feet. Mindfully releasing, drawing both knees to the chest, finding what feels good here. And in your own time, setting up for supine pigeon on the other side. This time placing the outer edge of the left ankle on top of the right thigh, and either keeping the right foot grounded or drawing the right knee to the chest. Breathe. From here, transitioning into supine cow face. Gently uncrossing the legs, drawing the knees to the chest, maybe finding some circular motions. And from here, we will ground the left foot, keeping the left knee bent, facing skywards, interlacing our fingers behind the right thigh, extending the right leg. If you have the mobility, maybe extending the left leg towards the earth. Coming into a supine hamstring stretch. If this posture is inaccessible, you could always use a strap or a towel and loop it around the back of your right foot for support. It might feel nice to point and flex that foot a few times, keeping the hips squared in this variation, keeping the ribs soft. One more breath. Gently bend both knees, return the right foot to the earth, and we'll take this variation of a supine stretch on the other side. Knowing that you could always grab behind the calf muscle, behind the ankle, or perhaps hold onto the foot if you have a greater range of motion. And noticing where the breath is manifesting in this posture. If you're observing quite a superficial respiration in the region of the chest, what might it feel like to guide the breath towards the belly, towards the pelvic bowl, helping you maximize your lung capacity? Gently bend both knees, return both feet to the earth, and we'll set up for Shavasana, final relaxation, extending the limbs, allowing the hips and the feet to slightly externally rotate, either having the palms facing skywards or towards the earth. Closing the eyes, allowing yourself to soften, allowing yourself to be here in this very moment. You might like to follow the rhythm of the breath to help you stay anchored in the present moment. or simply give yourself permission to relax, knowing that there's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go. Mindfully guiding your awareness to this posture, to the unfolding sensations. I invite you to pause the video here, rest in Shavasana for as long as you like, and when you're ready to join us, slowly beginning to reanimate the body, perhaps moving the fingers and the toes. It might feel nice to stretch the body in either direction. And when you're ready, keeping the eyes closed, rolling onto one side. And in your own time, coming upright into a seated position. Gently joining the palms together at the third eye center. Honoring your efforts for showing up here today. Recognizing your courage, your strength, and your resilience. The light and the teacher in me honors and salutes the light and the teacher in each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for today. May you experience true peace and joy. Namaste.